Okay, one-sided limits. What we're going to try to do first of all is we're going to try to take the 0 and we're going to try to directly substitute it in. And when that happens, you'll be able to tell if you can actually use direct substitution or not. So most of the time what I'll do is I'll throw it in my head. So I'm going to take 0, I'll plug it in. 2 times 0 is 0, absolute value of 0 is 0. Plug 0 in my head, I get 0. 0 over 0 doesn't work. And when it doesn't work, you either have to use something algebraic. Can you simplify? Can you do something to it? Or if you can't do something algebraic, you're going to go to a graphing utility. So let's go to our graphing calculators. And I'm going to do this one right here with technology directly on my graphing calculator. So, figure out what I got. And I want you to type in that. Alpha F1. And I need the absolute value of 2x. Absolute value is under math. Absolute value, thanks. 2x over x.
Okay, you're going way too fast.
I'll hit enter.
Hey, Trevor.
And I have absolute value of 2x over x. And what I want to do is I want to find the limit. So I'm trying to see if I indeed have a graph where the two ends approach each other. So I'm going to go to second table set. And I'd like to set my table up so I can see what happens at 0. So I'll plug in a 0 for my table start. I will change by 0.001. And I'll hit my second function table key. And I'm just going to look at the numbers and see what's happening. So here I have a set of numbers, and here I have a set of numbers, and I don't even really care what happens in the middle. So the fact that this says error means nothing to me. I care what happens just on each side of it. And I notice this is chugging along to 2, -2, and this is chugging along to 2. So I got a graph coming in from this side, and I got a graph coming in from this side, and the two graphs are going like this. So what's our answer for the limit at 0 when the graphs go like this? Yeah, the limit does not exist. And graphically, what I would have, I'm going to hit the graph button. Graph. Graphically, what I have is I have this set of lines coming like this, and I have this set of lines coming like this. And because they don't come together, we say the limit does not exist. Oh, there it is. The limit does not exist. However, the book introduces this idea of what a one-sided limit is. So what a one-sided limit is, okay, I know the limit at the 0 doesn't exist. It's a D&E. But what happens 0 negative and 0 positive? What this means is what happens on the left side of 0. So that would be what happens on the right side of 0. And what we're able to do is we're able to look at our picture, and we're able to, on the right side, 0. 0 plus means get on the graph and go towards 0 from the positive side. 0 minus means get on the graph and go towards 0 from the negative side. And I don't have to have this. I can talk about what happens on each side of 0. So let's look at it. So I'm chugging along, chugging along, chugging along on the left side, and it's getting closer and closer and closer right there to -2. The limit on the left side of the function is -2. 0 plus. What happens is I'm going closer and closer on the right side. I'm chugging this way. That one's getting closer and closer to 2. If your limit doesn't exist, your left side and right side limits will be different. Because if your limit doesn't exist, you're going to get that property where they're going at each other, but they're not going to hit. Okay? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to take this one. I don't have an algebraic way of doing this. I try to plug in my zeros. I try to plug in 0, I try to plug in 0, it blows up. So we're going to graphing calculator it. You're going to take x, ln x, you're going to put it on your calculator, and we're going to look at the graph. Let's do that right now. X, ln is right there, x. And I'll it off. X, ln x, right there. And let's just go straight to our graph. And I got this funky little thing, and I can't even really tell what's going on there. Like this, it kind of looks like it bent down a little bit below the axes, but I can't really tell. So I'm going to zoom in one time. And there's what I got. This asks me what's happening to the function as I approach 0 from the left. 0 from the left. Well, let's look. Where's my graph over here? Where does it exist?
Nowhere.
Nowhere. Nothing, 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 nothing. As I approach 0 from the left, there is no graph. The limit does not exist. Let's approach 0 from the right. Well, that one does exist. From the right, I'm getting closer and closer and closer to 0. So when you see those little funky superscripted values, 0 negative, 0 positive, it literally means hop on the graph, get closer and closer to that number from whatever side that it is, from the left or from the right. And we'll stop there.
Bill.